Like and subscribe on this video if you're excited for Warzone Pacific. Anti-cheat included on day 1. Stuns nerfed. Gas mask fixed. We think. Stopping power completely removed. We've already heard about a lot of the changes that are going to be coming to Warzone Pacific. But in this video, we're going to be diving deep into 7 crucial things that could make Warzone Pacific the biggest game in the world. But before we do, make sure to strap in, strap on, strap in, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your grandmother. I heard she's been trying to pwn some noobs in Caldera. God, old women are just so weird. As we've seen in the unthinkably popular Battle Royale, and one I'm sure you all love, Fortnite, they added a creative mode in late 2018. Within this creative mode, you could basically do anything you wanted. You could build your own maps, create your own mini games, obstacle courses, choose specific items and weapons players were allowed to use, and so much more. Thanks to that mode's release, not only has the average Fortnite player gotten better, but the game itself has continued to hold its crown as the most popular battle royale in the world. This game mode being released in Warzone could have the exact same effect. It would also give a lot more options for the content you all love to watch online, as well as give a chance for much better custom tournaments for the competitive scene. In my opinion, the most dire addition Warzone Pacific needs is going to be a ranked mode. This is going to be helpful for quite a few reasons, giving people a long-term goal to grind for. Currently, while playing Warzone, once you get all your guns maxed out, you're only working to get wins. And with the way Call of Duty has been set up for the past few years with its own version of skill-based matchmaking that's solely based on retention rather than enjoyment, it can get pretty brutal. With ranked mode, the higher tier players would work toward in-game items, gun skins, character skins, and so much more. Giving players an option to go further beyond is always going to be the best option, in my opinion. On top of that, it'll help a ton with getting a large percentage of sweats out of normal Warzone public matches. Everyone loves to argue about skill-based matchmaking, but the fact is there isn't really a skill gap within Warzone like there is within many other games, including something like Apex Legends. With the way the game was built, giving players a very strong aim assist on controller, especially when they know how to use it correctly, we end up in a place where anyone, low skill and high skill, can have a chance at eliminating even the best players in the world. This game was built to be easy. But sadly, when you put some things that would normally be okay for any regular player to have in the hands of someone with insane skill, you end up with a problem of people thinking skill-based matchmaking needs to be very strict for everyone to be happy, and that simply is not the case. Which brings us to our third feature that needs to be updated, and that is going to be looser skill-based matchmaking. I know it may seem like you don't want it, at least to those of you that are closer to the bottom of the skill spectrum, but an easier to understand skill-based matchmaking system and one that is a bit looser than its current hold would be more beneficial for this game than you think, especially with the sheer volume of players that are expected to play Warzone Pacific. As things are now, a lot of players believe that skill-based matchmaking must be strict because it's not fair when you run into a player with a 2 KD in your lobby when you only have a 1 KD. However, the world isn't just sunshine and rainbows. We're all here to have fun, and having a healthy mix, or melting pot if you will, of high and lower skilled players is always going to be the best option to make games more fun for everyone. For example, before I ever started making YouTube videos or had any time to create content on the internet or even the know-how, I played Call of Duty. And when I first started playing in Call of Duty 4, and in so many games afterward, the skill-based matchmaking was actually very loose. It was almost completely, if not completely, based on location rather than skill. Because of this, I had a chance to play against some of the worst, but more importantly, some of the best players in the world. This would drive me to become better so that one day I'd be able to take on those same players and finally have a chance at beating them. And because of that, I've had the opportunity to play in tournaments versus literally the best players in the world. However, in the world we live now, everyone wants to take the easy road and have things handed to them. While I understand that one, I think having a melting pot of players will always produce growth, as well as giving everyone, high and low skilled, a chance at more victory royale. Before I move past this point, I'd like to say I completely understand both sides of the argument. However, I believe that working to find a true middle ground and trying to cater to all different kinds of players will lead to a better pastime for all. Of course, let me know in a comment your thoughts, but I'd greatly appreciate it if we could first think of all perspectives instead of just our own and try to be understanding rather than awful and hateful as you'd normally see with this kind of discussion. Let's just be good humans. I feel like this one doesn't need much of an explanation, but of course, the most requested feature to be added to Warzone Pacific is going to be an FOV slider for those on console. We are 2 years into Warzone now, and if we can't pull off an FOV slider that, by the way, has been added to all the newer Call of Duties, I'm not quite sure we have any hope for this game as it is. Speaking of not being sure, I'm actually not sure how many people notice this while playing Warzone from week to week, but not having a static primary game mode playlist is absolutely absurd. From the first day of Warzone, we've had to deal with constantly changing playlists that, for some odd reason, would just remove the normal game mode. I can't possibly understand why they would need to do this unless they're trying to save space and money on the servers they use. But with a company that makes $4 billion plus annually, I don't think it should be a problem to make it easy on their consumers by continuing to give these players the original playlist that they know and love. Seriously, stop removing solos, duos, trios, and quads. Please, for the love of God, I'm about to lose my mind. This has actually been requested for a long time, and we even got red doors falling from the sky that sort of did something similar. But we absolutely need some system in place to combat camping. I'm fully aware that this is a game that can be, for some people, enjoyed when playing stealthily. However, as someone who can see the community constantly upset about people being able to sit completely still for multiple minutes without having any sort of consequences, I think it would be best, at the very least, to find some sort of mini-map system that would ping you on the map if you didn't at least move out of a certain meter radius. As I always say, you cannot physically get better while camping. Again, I completely understand wanting to sit completely still, but you will never, ever learn to hone your gun skills by sitting in the same place the whole game. I would like to say, though, this wouldn't actually be a problem if the time to kill wasn't so low. However, that is much less likely to change than adding a simple pinging system to the minimap. Our last and my personal favorite feature that I believe needs to be implemented into Warzone Pacific is going to be a fully customizable HUD. For this, I'm going to be showing you a small snippet of my reaction to a video called The Little Things by a creator known as Birderspeed. I'll also leave a link to this video in the description, as well as Birder's channel if you'd like to subscribe.
Okay. And let's start here. In Warzone, you can be full dead, in the gulag, or alive. While full dead, the only thing I would change is to show how much money a player will respawn with, because it can sometimes be useful to revive the teammate with more.
Yeah, what? Why is that not even, like, why do I have to ask?
More money. Take the following example. Here, both Brett and Jermaine need to be revived, and Brett has far more money. If Murray chooses to revive Brett, their combined money will exceed the 4,000 required to also revive Jermaine.
Yeah.
However, if Murray chooses to revive Jermaine, their combined money won't quite be enough to revive Brett. So the decision is obvious, but since it doesn't show their money, we don't know who should be revived in this situation.
I love this guy. I love this guy. He deserves 300,000 subs. 316, honestly, since I'm
While you're in the gulag, this is what he can take mine. And this doesn't change from the moment you die to the moment you respawn or lose your gulag. This means your teammates cannot tell whether you're already fighting or just waiting to fight. It should distinguish between these two states, and this would mean you don't have to ask for comms every time you are fighting in the gulag.
Right!
Or, at the very least,
yes! Oh my god!
Your teammates won't interrupt you as frequently while fighting. As for when you're alive, I'll start by adding in plates, gas masks, and kill streaks from the previous example.
Right.
Another obvious one is field upgrades. If your teammate picks up an armor box, this is extremely useful information, but you'll never know unless they tell you. If it's shown right here, there's no longer a reliance on that verbal communication.
Love that.
Does anyone else have that one annoying teammate that's always asking for sniper ammo? Another thing I'd like to see is ammo counts. If I have a sniper in my...
Well, no, that's just going to make it cluttered.
And I'm low on ammo, I would need to ask my teammates to drop some. If I could see their ammo counts, I would know who I should ask, so that I'm not getting...
I think he's trying to add in like his twist on it, because this is basically stolen. But I mean, I get it.
Every time. If I switch to my secondary, say an AR, then it would show me everyone's AR ammo, and the
Okay.
Same logic applies. I think these are all the obvious ones that should definitely be added, but you could go even further. Maybe you would also like to know whether or not your teammates are ghosted. Maybe, like myself, you enjoy watching a lot of competitive Warzone, so you would like to see each player's kills displayed next to their names. Heck, for all the less mathematically inclined players out there, maybe a sum of everyone's money would be cool. You could do the same for your team's kills.
Okay, I'm down with that. I like that. The money and the kills.
Now, I'm not saying
cool.
the HUD should look like this. Personally, I would like as much useful information as possible while playing, but others would no doubt think it's too cluttered.
True.
I think the best solution is to make it customizable in the settings. The baseline for everyone should look like this, and then players should have the option to choose what
customizable all the way, baby. I will note, however, he hasn't uploaded since this video, but I'm sure whatever comes next will be phenomenal. Now, we do have a couple of honorable mentions, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to start it off with number 1, which is going to be helmet. Imagine having the ability to grab a helmet off the ground to be able to take a headshot and live. Having this ability could really make life easier when you're going up against those pesky snipers. For the sake of content and even the average player learning from their mistakes, a theater mode would be awesome. You could see what happened from every angle and even in a third-person perspective. As previously mentioned, campers are a bit of a problem in Warzone. However, a longer time to kill would make it where you don't die to nearly as many. Normally, those players don't know how to aim because they rarely move, but as it stands currently, a couple of shots can kill an enemy. If that's changed, camping becomes much less of an issue. And our last one, a bit out there, but imagine being able to, of course, in a very loud and obnoxious way, grapple on top of a very tall building rather than take the single staircase available straight into your demise. I think that would be absolutely beautiful. If you guys enjoyed this video, you know the deal. Drop the video, like, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one and in Caldera.